Please, you bear with us. We have a lot of things going on at this time. And I want to welcome the members of the media and all of you, all the members of ADC, NEC, and BOT, and also the members of COPDEM, who are just joining us. I want to welcome all of you, and I wish you all well. The president of the Farmers Club of Africa, welcome you.
Thank you.
And the National Coordinator Justice Group. Madam, I welcome you. For the last 25 years, our democracy has continued to struggle. You all are aware of that. This has given us in ADC serious concerns, as elections after elections have continued to produce very uncomplimentary outcomes, which have affected the quality of governance. This has manifested in different ways and affected the health and general well-being of our people and the country. Our country, Nigeria, seems to be a state at war with itself. Young men and women have continued to desert the country, not only to Europe, America, and Asia, but also across other countries in Africa. Across other countries in Africa. Okay, sorry. As I said, we are aware that young men and women have continued to desert our country, not only to Europe or America, as it was before, but now to Asia and most African countries. Businesses and investors have also joined the exodus. Nigeria has become the poverty capital of the world, so everybody is living. As a transnational party, we set up a study group to dissect why, in spite of the many brilliant individuals in this country, we are getting the wrong end of the democratic governance. Top on our findings is that the political party have continued to constitute the weakest link in the chain of the democratic systems in Nigeria. Our political parties are have become the weakest chain, the weakest aspect of the chain, as far as the political system is concerned. And when the political party that produces the individuals who will govern, the chief executive, the parliamentarians, when is the weakest chain, what happens? You get nothing for delivery. As is well known, the strength of any system is determined by the weakest link. The weakest link in any system is represented the strength. Because even if, no matter the systems you create, no matter the different structures, the moment any aspect of the link is weak, you stretch it from this angle, the other parts may be strong, the weak part will give way. And once it gives way, the system has collapsed. That's why we say Nigeria is a collapsing system. Nigeria has failed. But people must rescue this country. Therefore, my dear compatriots, in coming together today, we must be open-minded. Our collaborations, coalitions, and major conversations must resolve this burning issue and great burden that we carry. We should see what we have come here to do as not just building a political party to take over power as we have seen that such power grabbing has led our country nowhere. You can see it. Since 1998, people come together to take power and we end up nowhere. In 2003, when we were able to mobilize a lot more voters to come out, after they all came out, it became the same grabbing system because of the failure of the political organizations. Individuals are controlling parties. The party does not control its members. That's wrong. We should see we should see what we have come here to do as not just building a political party to take over power, as we have seen the consequences of that. Nigeria is fast becoming a desert as far as investment is concerned and a dungeon in terms of criminal activities and corruption. Nigeria has become a dungeon. We must stop that. That's why we have come together. Therefore, with a very warm handshake, we here in ADC welcome the members of Coalition for Protection of Democracy, COPDEM. With a very warm handshake, we welcome Justice Group. With a very warm handshake, we welcome Farmers Club of Africa as they join us in an effort to build a viable, resilient, people-centered political party that will stand the test of time. Our work in this regard is only continuing. It's only continuing. I wanted to say only beginning, but we've all been toiling, so it's only continuing. But this time with renewed vigor. Collectively, we are going to move around to bring all patriotic progressive groups, members of civil societies, and political parties into our Democratic Redemption Accord. What we are beginning to form is a Democratic Redemption Accord to leverage our country, Nigeria, and to deliver Africa. As we sign our MOUs to work together, we must commit ourselves to the essential disciplines that promote harmony, development, innovation, and creativity in leadership. We must also commit ourselves to building selflessly for God and for humanity, so that our nation will arise and shine again and regain its lost glory and influence in Africa and the global space. Today is not for long talks, but for action. We shall therefore aggregate ourselves into critical committees to move around Nigeria and work hard to build a grand coalition of the finest of our people. The finest of Nigerians, want to put them together. Nigerians who are desirous of the change we advocate. I have no doubt that in less than 3 months, we will be able to get volunteers and over 20 million willing members. 20 million willing members who are ready to stand up and to be counted for Nigeria. Are you willing to stand up to be counted? Yes. Are we giving ourselves the task to build up 20 million Nigerians who are desirous for this change? Yes. I'm taking you for your words because I know that that is possible. Our goal is to build a self-sustaining political party with over 20 million members willing to pay their monthly membership dues of 500 naira and whose interests are not about self, but Nigeria. We don't want people to come and own parties anymore. 500 naira in a month, within the next 3 months, we generate 20 million members. That means 10 billion. 10 billion naira in a month. If willingly we pay our membership dues, 500 naira, we generate 10 billion in every month. Our party will run better than any other party. We don't need the Godfather to come and people who will be stealing state money and then investing in the parties. Therefore, before you know it, they corrupt everybody, and that's why we have a corrupted ecosystem now. Enough of that. The coming together of COPDEM, ADC, Justice Group, and Farmers Club of Africa has resolved all that matter. We are not looking back. God bless all of you. And for my COPDEM brothers, for Justice Group, I want to say sisters because I see a lady as the as the chairperson, but then and the Farmers Club of Africa. I welcome all of you. Working together, we will make Nigeria and Africa proud. God bless you. Thank you very much. Exercise until we have accommodated all groups. So our members who are in Abuja, our media friends, don't be surprised that almost every week we shall be doing this. We are also aware that we are in touch with some other political parties and shall be conducting congresses. We shall be conducting our congresses and the national conventions within the next few months. Our congresses, which will end up with a national convention in about maximum 3 months' time, will herald a new political party that Nigerians will see. By its perception, by everything we do, they will know that these people have come to deliver Nigeria. God bless all of you.
Today, because we believe in ADC not because of anything, because we have seen the clamoring of all Nigerians for the past 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Everybody is talking about ADC, ADC, and more groups are coming in. FAMCOA is a group of over 2 million Nigerian farmers that are ready to join ADC today. We have been collaborating and we have agreed that we are going to join African Democratic Congress ADC Global Campus so that we can mobilize our youths who are now upcoming. If you look at it in the terrains we have now, we have the big farmers, we have the small farmers. So the small farmers are likely putting themselves together so that they can now join ADC as skills farmers who are now coming up so that they can have a transformation, because ADC, we notice that have a youth transformation center. So we are going to bring up those youth so that they can now align and join so that we can transform them into a better society. And lastly, we are now working, when you say farmers in Nigeria, people think that farmers are those who till the ground. No. We have poultry farmers, we have fish farmers. So we are now working with the 20 million, the 2 million farmers who are mostly on agro-mechanized and then farm tilting of the ground. Now we are trying to bring in the fish farmers and the poultry farmers. So in the next 3 months, the chairman is saying maybe congresses will start. We will now put more influx so that at least from 2 million, we will now move into 6 million because of the farmers. So, Mr. Chairman, I assure you, we have collectively, like I said, put up an MOU, and now we are trying to bring them on board so that at least the poultry farmers and then the fish farmers now will now put an MOU whereby we draft it and then bring it with a total list. Because something that he said with 500 naira, if we can generate more, we'll get a bigger amount of money. So I'm assuring you, in the next 3 months, the Farmers Club of Africa in Nigeria will definitely be part of ADC. The whole system will be hijacking. Mr. Chairman, I thank you very much, and we are highly delighted to bring in the Farmers Club into ADC Global Campus.
Voters' apathy is caused by the attitude of our political leaders and the system we have in the country. because it's very, very discouraging that when people will go out to vote, in capturing their vote, things start to happen. It's looking as if their vote doesn't count anymore. So they now wonder, why do we continue to go into vote? There's a poll conducted recently, and in that poll, they said over 70% of Nigerians are not willing to vote anymore, especially after what happened in the last election, and so on. So in building our coalition, we want to change that dynamics. And I want to assure you, I mean, you can see the faces of people who are here today. COPDEM is a very serious organization, grassrooted. Farmers Club of Africa has put together almost over 500 to 700,000 farmers. And I know with the kind of effort they are putting in, we've been in talks for many months. And then it's just that we have to call them in. Come, let's crystallize this. Otherwise, they will fill all of this place with farmers. Farmers who will produce your rice, your yam, and everything. So the Farmers Club people are working. And then people in Nigeria who have been, apolitical, that's that party you're talking about, who are showing it. They want justice. And you can see the strategic reason for this coalition. People who are pushing for the protection of democracy, people who are pushing for justice, and people who control the grassroots of the productive forces in Nigeria, the farmers. This is a strategic thing that we've put together. And with that, I can assure you that even the 20 million membership we talked about, you will see a lot more. And with that, no force can stop what is about happening. In terms of 18 years, I mean, our National Assembly people, they say a lot of things, and enforcement becomes a challenge. Even in the National Assembly, every day you hear some people are decamping laws that they wrote, things they passed. Elected people will leave their party to another party, and the speaker will receive them. Meanwhile, in that same house, they passed before that you cannot, if you leave your party, you lose your seat. So, it's easy to arrest and charge 18 years old vulnerable persons. That we will not support. We will push to make sure that 90% of Nigerians are voting with good governance. And what we have started to do now, to give our people the confidence, go and vote, and we will protect your vote. People don't want to go and vote and then get harmed. You hear even our political leaders who say that going to vote is like war. You're going to a war front, grab it, do that, and so on and so forth. We don't want to expose our citizens to that because we are assuring them of their safety. Then, time urgency. I guess in our mobilization, we understand the urgency of the time. We understand that by June next year, that candidates must have emerged from primaries. Latest June, July. We are aware of this. We've been working on the ground, but we just wanted to to make this public presentation, which we've decided that almost every other week, we're going to be meeting with the media to show you the kind of architecture we are building, the progress we are making, and so on. But be assured that by 2027, you have a new party, which this accord I've marked today. I called it Democratic Redemption Accord. Democratic Redemption Accord. This accord will produce the next president, and will produce more than 90% of the governors, you will see. All of them all of them are going to sign public contract that is no longer business as usual. All of them will sign public contract. It's no more business as usual. We want to build the Nigeria that all of us will be happy with. That's the things you will see moving forward. So the gloominess in the system will soon start to fade away, irrespective of the hunger. Thank you.
I'll start with your last question as to whether we're expecting others to come. Of course, the chairman has made it very clear in his statement that this is going to be a continuous event, and that most likely on a weekly basis we'll be having this type of activity happening here in the party. And this is part of the progress we're trying to build and establish in bringing about that coalition we're talking about. So by and large, we're expecting more groups to come in here. We're expecting more political parties, as a matter of fact, to come in. But what is key now is that the party is also putting in place the necessary procedures that will allow us to absorb people into the party. And within the next couple of days to weeks, the party will start making arrangements for congresses, right from the wards to the local governments and the states. And of course, like the chairman has said, within a couple of months, it will culminate into the national convention that will now bring in every player to have a stake in the new political party that will now emerge as a result of this coalition that is ongoing between different political players in this country. Why is this necessary? One, we are running out of time. Secondly, it has to happen for us to be able to challenge the government in power to bring about the change that the Nigerian people desire. And everybody knows that we cannot do that if we have a divided front. And so as we start this today, it is the beginning of like a roller coaster ride that will culminate in a greater political coalition that will save this country. Thank you.
Question is where you place COPDEM. COPDEM is a political action group, although not something very common or popular within African politics, but it is something that I think we should evolve to. Like we didn't have handsets, but we have evolved to them. So a political action group functions just as the term implies, political action, and we are a group. We prefer to stand and watch for credible candidates and support them, whether they have a political platform or not. We also want to hold leadership accountable at every level. We also want to make sure we create education, political education, voter education, for the masses to know the importance of coming out to vote, to treat voter apathy, to know that they have to own the process, because the Constitution says we, the people, was referring to them, not those in power. So that is what COPDEM does. And COPDEM has found that there is a need for a coalition. We don't speak about it, we have taken action. We are a political action. Your second question is membership strength. Okay, well, COPDEM is in the 36 states of Nigeria and the FCT, and we have a minimum ESCO of in each state of 17. So just the ESCOs in the states, 37 by 17 is 629. We have now multiply that by local government ESCOs, 774. I'm not talking of membership. People who are online, on phone, 774. We are now going into the wards, slightly over 8,000 words. We have covered more than 50% of them before we are wrapping up the remaining 20 or 30% left. Now, truth be told, we believe in transparency and accountability. We are stronger in about 30 states of the 36. That is the truth. But we are not leaving those other ones. We still have state ESCOs and local government ESCOs. Now, let me give you a brainwave. A simple, truthful story. In those other 6 states that COPDEM wasn't too strong, when they heard of this alliance, because we announced it to our platform a week ago, so they will anticipate this, they have produced local government and ward ESCOs. So we have the reach in the whole country, sir, and by God's grace, they are staying strong and growing. Last question was what we bring to the table here. We have seen that ADC, when it comes to speed, efficiency, proactiveness, consistency in bringing up quality leaders, starting from Pat Otome as its first presidential candidate to this time, and its consistency in standing with the people when it comes to justice, can be described as a brand new jet. That's right. COPDEM is just coming to be the additional parts of the engine and the jet, A1 fuel. Because there is a platform that is needed to create change, and we have the foot manpower. That's right. So it's a perfect marriage. And with the farmers next to us and the justice next to us, what do we have to lose? Come on.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The next big thing.
The next big thing in Nigeria.
ADC. Today we formalize a strategic alliance between the Coalition for the Protection of Democracy, COPDEM, and the African Democratic Congress ADC. Also, we recognize the urgent need for a structured, coordinated, and disciplined approach to mobilizing civil society and progressive forces across Nigeria, our dearly beloved nation. It is in this light that we introduce, or we are proud to say, COPDEM has commenced looking into the future like our amiable national chairman, Dr. Nwosu of the ADC has said. We are looking at a mobilization vehicle. COPDEM is a grassroots organization. Our communication and interaction are the farmers in the field. Mama Nkechi selling akara by the roadside. Iya Ibeji, who brings akamu to our doorsteps. Those are our COPDEM people. So we're already in the process of working together and putting together an idea. The Directorate of Mobilization, Civil Societies, and Progressive Engagements as a directorate within our great party, ADC. Permit me to say at this point, we will hit the ground running while our distinguished committee on Constitution can inculcate it into the Constitution later. But Nigerians cannot wait. Why? Because next year we're looking at the national primaries into the presidential elections. So when you formalize us, we're already in the field. We'll just be bringing in results. A critical organ dedicated to the uniting like-minded groups, activities, and organizations in a common mission. And what is that mission? Building a political, engaged citizenry that will drive democratic change at all levels of governance. For too long, Nigeria's civil society and progressive forces have operated in silos. This has weakened the opposition, scattered our collective energy, and allowed the status quo to persist. The status quo of corruption must change. The status quo of vote buying must change. And we intend to reverse the direction of voting from voter apathy to voter excitement and appreciation. The Directorate will serve as a bridge, bringing together advocacy groups, grassroots movements, and political actors under a unified structure, ADC, that can effectively challenge power, influence policies, and give and drive the electoral victories in Nigeria. The signing of this COPDEM ADC Memorandum of Understanding MOU is not just about two groups coming together. It is a part of a broader, much broader strategy to institutionalize opposition politics and transform advocacy into real political influence. This will integrate, one, strengthen ADC as the leading platform for progressive forces. Two, ensure grassroots and civil society participation in shaping Nigeria's political future. Three, mobilize all 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, towards issue-based, people-centered governance. And finally, last but not limited to, provide a clear, disciplined, and result-driven political alternative to what we have today. As I wrap up, through the Directorate for Mobilization of Civil Societies and Progressive Organizations, we will ensure that COPDEM's vast grassroots network and ADC's political structure are not just aligned, but actively working to reshape Nigeria's democratic space.
That's right.
To every civil society group, progressive movement, and activist seeking real political change, this is the time to engage us in ADC. The Directorate is not a bureaucratic structure. It is an action-oriented platform that will channel grassroots energy into real proactive political power. To opposition forces across Nigeria, we must move beyond fragmentation. Frankly speaking, there's no need to have ZLP, LP. Let's look. We have moved beyond those fragmentations if we really want to make a change in Nigeria. But if we keep on remaining on our selfish stance, nothing will move. And nobody should be claiming hard to get. The era of being the most beautiful bride has passed. This is to save Nigeria. Oh, yeah. So come in and join us here in ADC and let's get to work. Thank you, sir. So, to all opposition forces across the country, we must move beyond fragmentation. This is the time to consolidate our strengths, unify our efforts, and build a truly formidable opposition. To the international community, Nigeria's democracy is at a turning point, and the role of civil society in shaping electoral outcomes and governance cannot be ignored. We call on democratic institutions and partners to engage with this emerging force of change. Remember this day. This is a defining moment. We are moving beyond rhetorics. We are building structures. We are mobilizing civil society. We are transforming advocacy into practical political action, and we are taking our country back. So the signing of the MOU between COPDEM and ADC Alliance and the establishment of the Directorate of Mobilization, Civil Society, Progressive Engagement marks a new era. The task ahead is great, but we are ready for it. This is the movement, this is the moment, and we are not stopping until we see Nigeria in the hands, until we see a Nigeria that truly works for the welfare and security of its people. Thank you very much. Easy, this coalition. All right, for COPDEM, we had a New Year message to Nigeria on the urgency and the need to have a coalition, because we cannot keep kidding ourselves in the face of the realities. And in order to practicalize that encouragement to start a coalition, to have a solid opposition party, COPDEM has aligned with ADC to start and kickstart and fire up the coalition. So it is just the beginning, or like my principal now will say, it is just the continuation of the coalition. Looking at time, we believe that within the next month or so, most of the other big players would know they have to come to table. They have to come and discuss. Because we have a country to look out for. And if they truly want to defend their people and provide good governance for their people, they can't stand against the current force alone. So come to the table while there is space, because you may come into your own house and you don't have space to enter. Others have taken control of it. So we are inviting all other opposition parties in Nigeria to come in. There is a place for everyone. Were it not so. Finally, regarding the mandatory voting, Haba. Although we know when a child is sick, our mothers used to cover the nose so that you force feed the child for his own sake. But the people are not coming out to vote. Why? It is because the votes are not being counted. So we don't ask the people to forcefully come out.
You go to jail now.
Go to jail for what? We have followed the process from 2023, and we tried the empire. Was the empire fair? Let us ask ourselves. Then we followed patiently till the judiciary. As the last hope of our people, are they still the last hope of our people? No. So why should they come out to vote? But right now they have a reason. Nigeria, arise. There is a new thing on ground. The new big thing in Nigerian politics is ADC.